Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of the Latino Conservative. I am going live on a couple of different spots here. I've got my political Instagram over here, and I've got my not so political Instagram over here. And the reason why I decided to also include my not so political Instagram is because we're going to talk some about insurance. Insurance isn't the biggest political thing going on right now, but it's something that's important to me, and it affects me, and it affects most everybody out there. In fact, everybody has to have some sort of insurance, whether you're driving or not driving, whether you are in good medical condition or not. You have to have insurance. So we're going to talk about insurance, and we are going to get a little political. We are going to talk about Joe Biden. Go figure. You know, who would have thunk that we would start talking about Joe Biden? But first, let's get into one of our sponsors here. You know that I talk about Chime all the time. It's a great platform. I love using Chime. In fact, Chime has helped me news right off. We're going to start off talking about insurance. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my personal insurance journey that I've been fighting with since December, November, maybe even. And see, I just started taking this medication called Mounjaro. And for me, what that is, it's for diabetes. And I've been fighting with the insurance company trying to get it covered because so many people get and use it for non-diabetic reasons. That's right. So you've got these insurance companies, these doctors that are prescribing it for weight loss. And mind you, it's a great weight loss tool. It is. I can't say anything bad about it. And quite honestly, one of the biggest contributing factors to diabetes is weight loss. You know, go figure. You know, for those of you who don't know me, I used to be 450 pounds. I'm down to about 250, 260, depending on how many tacos I have that week. But you get the point. But for me, personally, diabetes is going to be with me for the rest of my life, no matter what I do. So I have to take care of it. And I got on the phone yesterday. No, take that back. It was yesterday to check on a status update. See, the insurance company basically put Mounjaro on a non-flowing list. So what that means is they don't want to cover it now because it costs too much. So this is where I'm going to get a little political. This is why I've got both my non-political Instagram over here, my political Instagram over here, and the Latino Conservative right over here, because I'm going to get just a little bit political with this. You see, Mounjaro is made by a company called Eli Lilly. For those of y'all who don't know what Eli Lilly is, what they do to me, it's them forcing us to take a medicine because what they're trying to do, they are trying to get me to take other medicines. I've tried Trulicity. I've tried Ozempic. Those aren't on my record, my insurance records, which is called the Medical Bureau, because I used samples of those. Those weren't actually prescribed. Those were samples. And they're just inconsistent. Same thing with just your regular day-to-day insulin. It's not consistent. I could take that and like whatever dose the doctor prescribes, I can take that and I'll have go from like a 250 blood sugar, which is pretty high, pretty dang high actually, down to a 75 to a 50. My monitor that I have right here in my arm that tells me what my blood sugar is like, it was going off like crazy because I've got it set to set low alarms too. It was going like crazy, waking me up in the middle of the night because I was crashing. My blood sugar was crashing in the middle of the night. This Mounjaro that I was taking had it evened out, and I could even enjoy foods that I loved. Now, I was still responsible for making sure that I didn't overdo it. I'm a fluffy guy at heart. No matter how much weight I'll lose, I'm still a fluffy guy, and I love my tacos. I love candy. Oh my goodness, the tequila, stuff like that. I love all that stuff, but I've become responsible with that, even with this Mounjaro, because it keeps me leveled out to where I almost don't have to take any other medicine. I keep a little stash of the fast-acting insulin just in case something happens. There's always that emergency. Now, fast-acting is 2 hours. Fast-acting, como que fast-acting, 2 hours, but still, you get the point. But either way, the insurance companies are trying to force us to take medicine that they don't know about. That it's almost like a controlled substance. Insulin, stuff that helps me live, stuff that helps millions of other people live. They try to get them to take whatever they want to force us to take because money. Now, Trulicity and Mounjaro are made by the same company. Go figure that. The difference is where Trulicity helps your body process the sugar, the Mounjaro helps you in two ways. It helps your body produce insulin, and it helps your body process the sugar. Because you can be some type 2 diabetics, they'll just process the sugar, but have loads of insulin left in their body, which isn't good either. Go figure. So more on insurance. Insurance is the biggest scam out there. Let's talk about auto insurance. No, I'm not pitching any auto insurance. Don't get me wrong. If anybody wants to pick me up as a sponsor, Allstate, State Farm, go ahead and do that. But story here that I found, this is while I was working. For those of y'all who don't know, who just might be seeing this for the first time, I'm in the car business. Hyundai and Kia. Basically the same car. It's like GM and Chevrolet. But Elantras, Kia Souls, stuff like that. Those cars that aren't too expensive, they're easy to steal. And cars that are easy to steal make a good target. You make a good target for those. And I'm looking at this comment. Oh, sorry. I was a little distracted over here by this comment. I love my girlfriend. She's just awesome. But either way, so Kias and Hyundais, they are just easy to steal. I remember when it used to be the Civics, the Honda Civics, the Toyotas. Those used to be the easiest models to steal. But that has moved on to the Kia, like the Soul, your Elantras, the Hyundais. Stuff like that's easy to steal. So insurance companies are flat out saying, we are not going to cover those cars. We are not going to cover those cars anymore. And if you have this car already, we're going to charge you more. What does that tell you? Again, insurance companies are dictating how we live. And you know what? We have to have insurance. As a conservative, I absolutely loathe big, heavy-handed government. And this is something that is a direct effect of Obama. Not the auto insurance, but health insurance. But states require a minimum coverage. Finance companies, if you buy a car, you have to have full coverage if you have it financed. Now these insurance companies are dictating to us what we can't buy, essentially. They're saying we're not going to approve that vehicle for coverage. And if they don't approve that vehicle for coverage, guess what? The finance company can repo that car. It's in the contracts. There's this form on each and every single car deal, whether you buy it cash or whether you buy it financed. Agreement to provide insurance. How do I know this? Hey, I'm a car business guy. I traveled state to state for many years installing a software called the DMS, which is a dealer management system in car dealerships. And that was a system that finance managers used, which was your contracts. Agreement to provide insurance was one of the biggest forms out there. We had to make sure that form was perfect or the banks will not fund that deal. And guess what? If the banks don't fund the deal, the dealerships don't get that money. And guess what? You don't get a car. But now insurance companies are trying to dictate what we buy by saying we're not going to cover that. And I will say this on the flip side of that. Don't be a pendejo and go out and steal cars. You're just going to get in trouble. And you're just going to cause somebody else a lot of trouble as well. How would you feel if your car was stolen? You know, the car that you took your family back and forth to school from, your kids were in that car. That was your way of providing income for them, because maybe your car you used as a delivery driver, you know, Uber Eats, DoorDash. That was your income, and you stole it. There's a special place in hell for people like that. Taking people's livelihoods. So, on to the political side. I'm not going to be the Latino Conservative. I can't be the Latino Conservative without getting too political. And for me to get political, I have got to talk about none other than our chief, whatever you call him, a Hummer EV. He's in a Hummer EV. One of the last stores that I installed before I got off the road, I'm on our marketing team now. You know, I like it. I love it. As opposed to the sales training. I like that job too. I love that job too, but I'm on the marketing side of it. But one of the last dealerships that I installed was a GM dealer, and they had Hummer EVs. Base price of that, $90,000, $90,000. There's still houses out there that aren't that expensive. $90,000. Not to mention, a dealership will not order a base model Hummer EV because they know the person who is going to buy that Hummer is going to be loaded. They're going to get that customer either with a huge deposit up front or pre-approved for that vehicle before they actually order that vehicle. They don't just order them like they do plenty of other cars where they have cars in inventory. No, those are custom order vehicles, one-off order vehicles. So they're going to be $125,000. Now, this dealership that I was at, it was in California, mind you, so makes 100% sense why they did this. But The sticker price on this was $125,000 for this one specific one. The cheapest one that they had a few of them. The cheapest one they had was $125,000. They had an addendum on there. And what an addendum is extra prices, extra stuff. They had an addendum on there for an extra $100,000. So that $125,000 car came out to be, do the math, ding, 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 carry the one, double knot, whatever, $225,000 for that vehicle that Joe Biden is sitting in. This. Who can afford that? Who can afford that? So let's do a little math here real quick. Weighted rate on that. So let's do the math on that. Let me go back to the screen share here. So let's do a little more math. Average person, well, let me use the $20 an hour. Let's do $20 an hour. That's a decent wage, right? For the most of the people that are working that don't have the high paying jobs, because quite frankly, even though the average wage in the United States is about the $50,000, $52,000 range, that's including millionaires. That's including, Elon Musk. He is in that range. So I'm going to go about $20 an hour because that's a good rate nowadays. $20 an hour times 40, which is, how many hours you work a week. That comes out to $800 a week that you make. Not too bad, right? We can live off of that. That times 52, because there's 52 weeks in a year, brings your salary up to $41,600 gross. If you're like me, half your check goes to child support and to taxes. You get what I mean? So, but let's do $41,000. We're going to divide that by 12. And I'm clicking here because I don't have my 10 key here. That comes out to $3,466 gross, which at the end of the day is going to be about $2,500 net. If you don't have child support or anything to pay. Average rent, $1,200. $1,400 for this. You're done. You're actually busted. You're bankrupt. If you're a monopoly, you lose. So Joe Biden is touting this vehicle, this electric Hummer, saying the roads are going to be all electrified. What he's also doing in the process is taking away oil field jobs from Americans. But he's going overseas. He's going to Venezuela. He's still trying to get oil from Russia. We know this. Ukraine, I should say. Maybe Ukraine, because that's where his son worked at. China, who gets their oil from Russia. India, Saudi Arabia, Middle East, all those places where they have little to no EPA regulations on their drilling. Yet here in the United States, where we're trying to get rid of oil drilling because it dirties the environment. We have the cleanest standards. But he's going to the dirtiest places where they have the greatest oppression going on. Venezuela, have you heard about them lately? China, the Uyghur Muslims, slaves, legalized slaves in China. They're making $2 a day in China. I can do a whole segment on just China, how people wear their shoes, their Jordans, that cost them $400, and some kid made 50 cents that day making those shoes. That's where Joe Biden's getting his oil from. If he goes electric, that's where he's getting his components from. China. Even Elon Musk, he's got plants here and stuff that in Texas and in the United States where he builds his stuff, but his components to build, that stuff comes from China. Rare earth minerals, China. The damage to the environment that electric vehicles do and cause in the manufacturing of them is horrible. Strip mining. The acid in the batteries. Guess what? 10 years from now, that vehicle that has that battery's going to go out. And how do I know? Because I used to sell them. I used to have people come to me with hybrid vehicles. Hybrids, not fully gas, hybrids. That hybrid battery went out and caused all sorts of havoc. $10,000 right there. And that was for a Honda. Imagine that Hummer. Imagine the Tesla, the Rivian, all the other vehicles that are out there. And you got your Spark, your Volt nowadays. The components are relatively cheap, but still. What is your light bill going to look like after that? You plug that vehicle in, it's going to cause your light bill to go up. Guess what? If you get one of the lower end models, one of the not Hummer vehicles, if you get one of those, you're still going to have your daily living costs go up because your electric bill is going to go up. Most of our electricity is still used by fossil fuels. Very little bit are 100% green. Unless you get Green Mountain Energy, which not a plug. I do appreciate their clean energy, but I don't appreciate their highest rates out there. Give me some good old-fashioned oil-burning, gas-burning, diesel-burning vehicles. Let's clean those up. We have the capability to do that. When we went from the 4-speed transmission to 5-speed transmission, now we have 9 and 10-speed transmissions out there. We have vehicles that are so fuel efficient now, whereas we were getting 2 miles to the tank. Now we get 40, 50 miles per gallon on gas. That's right. Oh, and to justify the cost of a hybrid, just a hybrid, not an electric vehicle, a hybrid vehicle, to justify that cost, because they're going to cost more than a regular vehicle gas burner. You'll have to drive about 30 to 40,000 miles per year to justify the cost difference. You do that, 3 years at 30,000 miles, you're at 90,000 miles already. On that vehicle, 3 years old, Average vehicle, 15,000 miles per year. Your vehicle is almost at the 100,000 mile mark. Your vehicle is worthless now. Because once that vehicle hits that 100,000 mile mark, your trading value is gone. Your trading value is gone because a bank will not finance something with a decent rate. You know, the decent rate that we're all looking for, that's over 75,000 miles. That's to justify the hybrid. I know, kind of crazy offshoot tangent, squirrel moment off of the Hummer EV, but still the concept is the same. What cost are they saving by going to all green? They're not. They are not. They are causing more damage to the people, to the earth, to the environment, than by keeping fossil fuels, cleaning those up. Why can't we explore hydrogen? Guess what this world has an eternal amount of? It's hydrogen, water. Guess what happens? The few engines out there that do work off of hydrogen, they don't pollute. The tailpipe, it's water. It's just an ongoing cycle. Why don't we go that route? Go towards looking at producing and making hydrogen engines safer for the environment, for people. Hey guys, thank you for letting me rant and rave at you again today. Instagram over here, Instagram over here. Hi everybody. YouTube, don't forget to hit that like, share, subscribe button. If you're on this Instagram here, I'm looking straight at y'all, and you want to see more political commentary, I don't do political stuff here on this one very much, but I was talking about insurance. Follow me, The Latino Conservative, on that Instagram over there, or go look me up on YouTube. Go to thelatinoconservative.com, look me up there. Click on that green banner link. Help me out. Help a brother out. Help me keep these shows going. I look forward to doing more lives with y'all. Thank y'all.